My name's Rich. I'm here with the Razor's Edge, and I'm speaking to an absolute icon in the world of heavy and extreme music. It's my pleasure to speak to Peter Tägtgren from Hypocrisy, who's currently on tour at the moment. So, how's it going, Peter? How's everything?
Everything is good. Everything is rolling. It's the third day, everybody kind of knows what they're doing by now, and how to do things. It's always, first couple of shows is chaos, you have to delay the door for a couple of minutes because not everybody's ready and things like that. But I mean, in general, now everybody got their routine, so it's rolling like it should.
Excellent.
Yeah,
that's good to hear. So, it's your third show. You're in Eindhoven tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I just wake up and I play.
Fair enough. I know that feeling.
Fucking cities for 30 years, so I just try to enjoy and just be cool.
Yeah, fair play. And you're finally touring the Worship album.
Finally. A year too late, but what can you do if there's nothing really to do about it?
Yeah, fair enough. How does it feel getting back out on the road?
It's great. It's really good. I mean, this is what we've been looking forward to do, for 2-3 years. But we were happy to go to America in April, May, and did the Worship. So now we do Europe. And after that, we try to figure out how to do Scandinavia, Japan, Australia, try to cover every place on earth for this album.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So you've got a fair bit of touring ahead of you, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, this tour is 7 weeks. So we try to do the whole Central Europe and UK. Unfortunately, we're not going up to Scotland or Ireland. Maybe we can come back and really do a detailed UK tour, for maybe 7-8 gigs next year. Let's see how it goes when we come over there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So, Worship was a very powerful album. You've been sitting on it since, is it 2018, haven't you? When it was it 2018, 19?
2019 we were done with the album.
Yeah, fair enough. And you've also, as well as kind of that, you've got Pain and some other. I think you were working on a project with your son as well.
No, not really. We did that in 2017. We got some writing out of our system, and actually 2 songs ended up on the Worship album. One that Sebastian did, Dead World, and which else was it? Ooh, I can't remember which song it was that we had from that project, and we just pushed it over to Hypocrisy instead because it fitted fairly good. So, but I was also involved in Joel Turner's new album that's coming out soon. I wrote the album and produced it. I wrote the music on that, and Joel wrote the lyrics and melody. So it's a heavy, good album, I think.
Cool, good stuff. Because you've, I think most people listening will be aware that if anyone is into heavy music has probably got one album or more at least that you've produced in their top 10 albums of all time. I was kind of looking through preparing for the interview, and it's like, oh wow, that's a lot of albums that have been a big part of my life.
It's been. I've been lucky. I've been really lucky to be able to be a part of this in the 90s and 2000s and stuff. I mean, nowadays I don't have time to do anything really. I mean, I did the comeback for Possessed. What was that? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then the pandemic, of course, came also. But normally I really don't have time. I actually mixed Troops of Doom last year, which came out really cool, And this is not, you really have to adapt. It was like when I mixed the last Discharge album. You know, you can't polish that because it can't sound perfect. It has to sound in a certain way. So you always have to take that in consideration when you work with bands. What kind of music is it? How should it sound like? If you polish something that shouldn't be polished, you fuck yourself. You know, come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So which has been your favourite one to have worked on?
Oh man, I always get this question. I can only just say, like, if you have 3 kids and you have to choose which one is your favorite kid, it's impossible.
Yeah.
You know, I never had any nightmare recordings, you know, that I feeling like, oh, I will never do this band again, blah, blah, blah. I never had that experience. So, I mean, all the bands I've been recording has their charm in the studio, you know?
Yes.
They all have different kind of humors, and you learn pretty fast how to read people in the band, how much can you push a musician to perform, you know, before it becomes the opposite. It kills them instead, you know? So you really have to be shrink at the same time as you are a producer, because if you push too hard, then they might break, and then it might take a couple of days to come back till they feel comfortable, because that's my most important task, I would say, when I sit behind the desk and they're in the studio room, you know, recording, that to really get them to the exact peak to deliver the best they can.
Absolutely, yeah. So I was noticing that one of the albums, you know, that you were involved with quite heavily was Pleasure's Paved Sewers by Lockup, of course, and that was, for me, when I was much younger, I was into the kind of extreme stuff and then went away for a bit. But it was that album that brought me back into listening to extreme and heavy music.
That's a hell of an album. I mean, Shane, you know, he's the captain on that boat, and he does a great, amazing job.
Yeah.
You know, definitely. You know, he really knows grindcore how to do it. You know, and especially, you know, on that first album when Nick was playing drums. You know, holy shit, man, he's like Lombardo on cocaine. He's amazing. He's one of the best drummers there is out there for this genre, the death metal genre. You know, sometimes when we went out on tour, you know, it was with Dimmu Borgir in the early 2000s, he could sit and jam like Neil Peart, you know, some Rush songs and shit. So he's super talented, you know. And Jesse, of course, God bless him, he passed away. You know, that was a hell of a lineup.
Yes, yeah, it was absolutely incredible. Another band you've kind of produced, like the Great Mass by Septic Flesh, as a segue into your current tour, or your current tour mates. So how is the current tour going? Are you kind of settling in? You're getting along together?
Yeah, we share bus together and we know each other, you know. So and I only mixed that album, by the way. I didn't produce or anything. I only mixed it. So yeah, we're getting along great. And I mean, now we just have to, like I said, you know, when you start a tour, you know, it's all chaos.
Yeah.
Whose box is this? What is this? What is that? And things are taking way too long. You have to hold the doors for a couple of minutes because, yeah, it is what it is. It's 4 bands with a shitloads of equipment left and right, and it's got to be plugged in the right way, or otherwise someone don't hear something in the monitors, and yeah, it becomes really chaos. But now after this third day, you know, I think we got it nailed down. Everybody knows what they're doing, so that's good.
Excellent. Because I think is it Wednesday you're going to be hitting the UK?
Oh, don't ask me these complex questions. Yeah, I think it is on Wednesday or something like that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because tomorrow we have a day off, and then we do Belgium, and then we go over to London first, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember. People have to look it up on.
Do you know? I know that.
Or whatever.
I know that feeling. October for me is absolutely crazy. I think I'm booked in to cover about 19 gigs in the first few weeks alone, and I've still got more coming. So I can imagine for you it's even worse.
Yeah, it's a little confusing, but
fair play.
But because when I leave home, I turn off my brain because I pay people to think for me. So that's why I might sound ignorant or something like that, but I just turn it off and I just go with the flow.
I think that's the only way you can do it, really, isn't it? If you've got too much to think about, then it's the performance that's going to suffer, I guess.
Yeah, if you have too much to take care of, you're running up and patching things and checking, equipment left and right, and you fry your brain before you even go up on stage.
Absolutely. You've got a slightly different lineup for the tour this year, haven't you? You've recently swapped the drummer out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Henrik Axelsson, very good drummer. He's from The Crown.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not the original, but I think he played on a couple of albums. And they're going into the studio after this tour, and they're gonna record a new album. He's amazing. The personality is fucking great. We're a team of 4 guys. There's not 2 different camps or anything like that. It's like all 4, which is really great. Thor was amazing drummer, he still is, and he was very organized and everything, so there was never any issues with things like that. But it was time for everybody, I guess. He had other plans, we had other plans, and we just said, friendly way, like, okay, so maybe we'll look for another drummer then.
Fair.
And everybody thought my son was going to jump in, but nope. We didn't want to do that.
Yeah, didn't he have some? I think on the American tour, stepped in a couple of times, if I remember rightly.
Sebastian, my son.
Yeah.
No. We had a weekend in Finland, 2 festivals, and Henrik already was booked with Crown before that. So Sebastian jumped in and played 2 shows with us on 2 festivals this summer.
Fair enough. That must have been interesting.
Oh yeah, it was, because they hit totally different, these 2 guys. So our monitors were like exploding. My son grew up me complaining about drummers in the studio not hitting hard enough, so it's like a mother. So all the sounds changed dramatically when we walked up on stage with him up behind the drums, because we didn't practice together. He was practicing by himself, and just walked up on stage and we did it. So it was, but he did a fantastic job. Awesome.
That's always great. I have enough trouble sometimes getting my son to just wash the pots, let alone organising like a stage show and everything like that. So that's wonderful. Absolutely awesome. Yeah. So you're on tour with Septic Flesh, The Agonist, and sort of younger band Horizon Ignited. Oh, okay.
Yeah, from Finland.
Yeah. How are they then? Because I think most people probably would have heard of Septic Flesh and The Agonist, of course. But I always like to find out about new upcoming bands and bands that people probably never heard of before.
I didn't have a chance to check them out yet, to be honest, because it's been so chaos the 2 first shows we did, So hopefully today I can go on the side and check it out.
Nice.
But they're really cool guys. They're very young. I don't know if it's, they're newcomers. I don't know if they ever toured with, maybe they've toured with other bands around. And I really don't know about their history, but we'll find out. We have 37 gigs to do together, so we will know each other inside and out.
Yeah.
All of us.
Because your tour comes to an end, I think you're finishing in Germany, aren't you? Kind of mid-November time?
Yeah, 13th of November, I would say.
Fair.
I think it's the last gig in Berlin.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So, it's, I imagine post-pandemic, it's quite a different experience touring these days than it has been.
Not really. The only thing that's really weird is the pre-sales. Nobody buys pre-sales nowadays because a lot of bands are canceling all the time. So people don't know, should I buy a ticket or should I wait till I get the money back or will they show up, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of those issues, but, there's a lot of walk-up instead. It's like if you have, 500 pre-sales, all of a sudden there's 700 or 800 people there. So, things are different now with pre-sales. You can see a little bit, a couple of weeks before you start taking kind of, so I guess it's scary for all the promoters and stuff. They're going like, fuck, doesn't sell any tickets, and then suddenly the last week it just goes, and then also a lot of walk-ups at the door. So, but maybe it's different in different countries, but this is what we've seen so far, and what we hear from them, the local people. They say like there's no pre-sales, but people come, because they want to make sure they actually come.
Yeah, I've got quite a few friends who are promoters, and it's like, describing kind of the same pattern. Then you'll go to the gig, and it's like there's not enough room to move.
Yeah. So I'm really counting on England now.
Yeah.
Show up. So we know that we can come back and just do like different areas in the whole UK. Then we know there's an interest, and then pack our bags and come over.
Definitely.
That's how we got to do it.
Yeah, I must admit I'm really looking forward to seeing you in Manchester on Friday.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen. I think the last time was probably Bloodstock, actually, that I saw you.
Yeah. But I think we did that with Amon Amor as well, end of 2019. I think we did Manchester. They went to Birmingham. Oh, fuck me. I don't know. It's too many cities and too many tours. I've been touring for 30 years. Yeah. So everything just becomes a blur.
Yes. You just want the performance, not a geography test.
Yeah.
Fair play. So, what are your plans for the future, kind of after the tour? Because it was quite a longish gap between Worship and your previous album. Is it going to be that long before we see another Hypocrisy album, or other projects going to be coming to the fore? Lots more production. What's on the horizon?
I think I'm not fed up with touring yet, because that usually happens. When I get fed up with touring, I start producing bands to stay home.
Yeah.
And then the opposite again. When I'm fed up sitting home, then I try to find tours. So, but right now, after this tour, we have a 2 weeks break, and I'm going to keep on writing Pain songs.
Cool.
And then we go to South America.
Yeah.
And do 6 shows with Hypocrisy and 1 show with Pain. So,
oh, excellent.
And after that, keep on writing. And then in end of January, we had scheduled 4 gigs in Finland since 2 years before the pandemic. So we kind of moved that there. And then we're going to try to do Scandinavia, because we haven't been there yet. There are a lot of complaints from Swedes, like, what the fuck, man? So that's in plan for February. And then we really want to go down to Australia, Japan, maybe Singapore or something like that. And then, I don't know. Then hopefully after that, I'm done with the Pain album, so I can release it late summer and do the same shit with Pain. And of course, do some, UK tour, for example, with Hypocrisy or something. You can stick things in between,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm flexible.
Cool.
We just need to see there is an interest, and then we will go. So let's see what these 3 gigs will do.
Yeah.
With our confidence. Yeah. If you feel cocky enough to do like 10 shows in UK or something, let's see. Definitely. So, what can the UK fans expect when they come to the shows this time around? We got any older songs making an appearance? Yeah. There's 1 song from every album, and we have 13 albums, I think.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it. We went from album to album. Like, first album, we played this song so many times. Fuck it. Okay, let's find something else. So we put in a new song that we haven't played for a long fucking time. And we did the same thing for America. We were finding, like, for the second album, we always do Pleasure of Molestation. Okay, let's do something else now.
Yeah.
And then the third album, same thing there. We always did Fourth Dimension or Apocalypse. So we took another song. And you have to do like this for every album. Of course, Abducted, if we don't play, Roswell, they kill us. So, but then you have 13 songs and we play 15 songs. So we pull out 5 more songs.
Yeah.
Out of this pile of songs we have. So we really try to give everybody everything. I mean, there's some old school fans there that don't know anything after I don't know, Fourth Dimension. They stopped listening or whatever. And then there's other people who didn't even hear us until the Virus album, you know. So there's a lot of different kind of people, and there's a lot of young kids in the crowd. So it means like, you know, it's not these old guys in 50s, you know, and shit from 30 years back. It's actually new fans as well, which is really great to see.
Yeah, it's always great to see the new bands. Yeah,
it's very mixed crowd. Anything from 15 up to 60.
Yeah, in Manchester there's quite a range of bands coming up, and they're all like, you know, just about to sit the GCSEs and the like. It does make me feel old.
Yeah.
But do you have any advice for newer bands, like those just starting out, you know, where Hypocrisy were like 30 odd years ago?
Yeah. What was the question?
Do you have any advice that you might give to the younger bands?
Oh, okay, yeah. Are we talking touring-wise or just like general for a band?
Or general touring, yeah.
Yeah, I would say learning by doing, because, I mean, write music. You can only get better. Every song you make, hopefully it gets better and easier for you yourself to understand how to write, to make it better. And it's all about experience with that, just writing. And to get better, practice together all the time.
Yeah.
You know, to get tight and shit, you know, and that's the only thing I can really recommend. And if you're going to sign contract, go to a fucking lawyer. Not to a lawyer that's handling divorce cases, but a music lawyer, and spend maybe £1,000 before you sign it, to have someone to go through it, because you don't want to sign your balls away for 20 years or whatever. So it's worth every penny to have someone that understands contract, and they can explain, okay, if you sign this, you're going to be stuck there for 6 albums or 10 years or whatever, you know, and shit like that. And also like that the percentage they write is direct from source, you know, not from deducting this and deducting that and blah, blah, blah. You know, all these things are very important. So you need to have someone look at it for you to explain it to you.
Absolutely.
That's the two advices I can give.
Yeah, so write more music and get a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play. Okay.
Because, I mean, the more you write, the more I believe you will get better. At least you think that yourself, and that gives you even more confidence, and then you get even better because you get better confidence.
You have any messages for the UK fans ahead of the tour?
Yeah, just fucking show up. That's all I ask. I will give you a great show. We play 1.5 hours, and we got great lights with us. We got great sound, you know, and it should be flawless.
Awesome.
And a good show. Hopefully everybody goes home with a smile on their face.
Yes.
We're not sacrificing any virgins on stage or try to worship anything or killing or whatever. You know, we're just pure fun rock and roll.
That's fantastic. Good stuff. So it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you, Peter.
Yeah, you too. And I see you in Manchester. All right, cool. So
Okay.
see you soon. And thank you, everybody in UK. And have some understanding that we're not going further north this time. But if it turns out good, we will definitely do, like I said, a UK tour.
Excellent.
From left to right, from bottom to the north.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with future episodes by subscribing to our channels. For more information on this podcast, or for all the latest music news, reviews, interviews and more, head over to our website, www.therazorsedge.rocks.